Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Taking another look here at Avalanche, and I tell you what, quickly to note, this coin is looking fantastic in response to what happened with Bitcoin last night. So if you didn't already notice, Bitcoin took a massive dump last night, about 7.5% in one 15-minute candle, and it kind of looks like this here. In other words, we got this, what is it? Well, this is the liquidation for Bitcoin. Massive amount of liquidations at 42,400, and then we can see here $250 million in liquidations in just under 1 hour. Okay, that is extreme. What's great about all this, the reason why I'm excited about this for Avalanche, is because this little candle wick here is what happened last night when everything occurred, and this is how well it's responding after, when the majority of the market is just taking a massive dump. Okay, well, there's a few outliers, which I'm going to cover here soon, but what I'm getting at is Avalanche is looking pretty solid here in the overall sense of things, okay? So that's a great sign. So we're going to discuss to see here with a few key things, of course, a few back-end datas and etc., otherwise, whatever, and we're going to find out if this is sustainable or if the price may still pull back for Avalanche. So again, if you're new to the channel, welcome on board. Thanks again. I hope you learned something here today. I love teaching people to trade. That's the primary focus for these videos, is to help you just become a better trader. I do have a trading academy, community, and signals group on my website if you want to check that out, cryptocash.tech. So what we're looking at here is $38.38. Sorry, $38.30 roughly, as a heavy concentration of shorts. Those are the target here for Avalanche. Those could very well get wrecked here shortly, based on the simple fact that the price action is trying to retest its most recent high at $38, okay? So that's a potential inevitability. Same thing here with $34.20. That's also where the longs could get wrecked. These are late longs. We got some earlier shorts here that are going to get hit. So basically there's more shorts to get wrecked than longs, because they've been shorting for longer than the longs have been trying to go up, okay? So again, what that all means for us here is that there's not a lot of resistance in either direction, tentatively, but we have potential target for $38.20. So we're just going to mark that on the chart here. 38.20 looks like this, right there, just barely above the most recent high. And you'll notice a correlation. Oftentimes people have liquidation levels or stop losses right at those ranges, and that's where liquidations occur, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's roughly a target here for the whales to shoot the price action up there to wreck some some early and or late shorts, okay? Just some friendly advice, be very, very careful shorting this coin right now. Most other coins you might actually have some success shorting right now, but Avalanche is an exception, okay? So everything is looking pretty positive here on the daily. Let's just quickly double check a couple of key factors. Money flow index is coming down. That's standard for a sell-off like we saw recently. With the little recovery, of course, we got more volume. The 4-hour time frame will tell us a little bit better, but this is telling us that we are seeing a little bit of money coming out of the coin. RSI is tapering off, and stochastic's finally coming down. So those are all, well, they're not bullish signs, but they're certainly not bearish. It's still too early to tell. So the daily time frame's not really going to tell us too much right now, honestly, because what happened recently was somewhat of a smaller play, right? In other words, it was a 15 to 20 minute play, which did drive the price action down to bounce off this level of 34.25. As I mentioned before, this is a key level because it was the most recent resistance. So once, twice, 3 times the price shoots up, even though we wicked all the way down here, that doesn't really matter too much. The key takeaway here is that a few hours later, the price came down to bounce off of 34.30 and continued higher. Okay, so 34.25 roughly is a strong support level for the moment. I probably should rephrase that, because I wouldn't say strong support, because it's not like it's been, hundreds of attempts, and it's not like it's a daily candlestick closure or anything like that. But when we look at the price action right now, we can see it came down to bounce off that level quite perfectly, and that's a pretty solid sign that it is somewhat of a support level at this point. 4-hour time frame. Look at this here. This is actually perfect. This is a consideration for a long position. I emphasized this in my Solana video today too. When you have a second convergence on the stochastic RSI, it's typically a lot more impactful than the first. In other words, we saw the first one where the stochastic swung down here, it was somewhere in this range, and the price continued higher. That was a pretty solid one, of course, don't get me wrong. But the second one we're seeing right now could very well push the price action a lot higher and a lot faster. In other words, the RSIs are not overextended by any stretch. They're not like pulled way back or anything. Money flow index is technically coming down. So I'm not like super excited about this situation here, because obviously we need more volume for the price action to go higher. But again, we're testing that moving average there. We're in pretty good shape in the overall sense. And even though we have a MACD divergence on the horizon, we may very well see the price action reverse and bounce off that level. Okay, so again, slightly larger probability of the price action going up than down at this point. And if we take a look at TD sequential, we weren't massively overextended leading into this. We came up to a 7. And obviously, if we double check a few key factors here, with Elliott Wave, this is always a worst case scenario. Just want to kind of preface it just to be safe. I discussed this yesterday in our playout as well as a potential reality, but we just got to be mindful. If the price continues to pull back and sell off, we could see $30.70, 28.25, or 26. If it were to pull back that far, the 0.5, 0.618, this is the most support that we're going to find in a range, and that would be an area in which I would consider double checking. In other words, just make sure that you're safer than sorry, but this little area here is a good bouncing point if the price were to pull back that far. I don't personally see that happening just yet based on what we see here so far, but again, stranger things can happen, right? All right, so let's wrap this up here with the hourly. This is going to give us either confirmation or not. This is what I typically use for entry anyways. So let's go ahead and make sure to be aware of that, because we've already established that we're basically neutral to bullish on the larger time frames. Okay, so that's not like 100%. Oh my gosh, I'm ready to go long. But this right here does tell me, because most coins right now are not exhibiting the same behavior. They're well below the cloud. They're struggling, and right now we didn't get a bounce off the cloud. We have the cloud supporting us right there between 34 and 35. There's a really good sign there. Okay, because basically the price action has been unwilling to cross that level. Furthermore, we can also see the conversion lines above the baseline. However, the lag and span soon intersect. So what this really just means is that since the price wasn't able to break its most recent high on this first uptrend, this conservative indicator is letting us know that we may want to take some profits here soon before the price pulls back. Okay, again, conservative indicator. So we got 2 out of 3 reasons here to keep your long position open. Okay. Now, is there a consideration for a long position right now? I would say no, just mainly because, well, there's a lot of conflicting information. We're kind of establishing higher highs, but we're also establishing lower lows. So it's kind of a weird pattern, and it's honestly not really all that predictable. So honestly, at this point, you can kind of flip a coin and kind of hope for the best, and the price will go up. To me, I don't like to take trades like that. I like to trade on confirmation, and I don't see any massive confirmational signs here telling me it's going to go in either direction. So again, me personally, when coins like Bitcoin, for example, has a massive drop like this, I try to hesitate and wait to take long or short positions until I get confirmation. And there's no doubt, you're right about this. I know what you're thinking. You're going to miss out on some opportunities. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. The entire market is filled with missed opportunities, and I can say that confidently, you're not going to catch them all. So I'm not going to stress if I miss an opportunity here for Avalanche to break out or break down. But again, right now at this point, it's kind of a state of indecision. I would recommend waiting until we get a little more stability from Bitcoin. Perhaps wait until the Fed meeting minutes and everything is released before taking the next trade, because that's really what's going to be pushing the price action in a lot of ways. Is that fundamental catalyst that we probably likely already saw happen earlier with Bitcoin last night is just that massive sell-off leading into the Fed meeting. Okay, just keep in mind a lot of that stuff has a lot to do with this. So I hope that makes sense and I described this correctly. Make sure, of course, before we let you go, you do me a favor, hit the like button, do yourself a favor, and join the best exchange possible in the country and the world. Okay, so from our US Canadian members, no VPN, no KYC exchange. This exchange is phenomenal. You get significant amount of benefit rewards too if you use my link to register. We're gonna have trading competitions. It's a very, very cool situation there. So be sure to check that out. And I do want to say thanks again for watching. And to those of you who have been with me for a long time, greatly appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.